How happy would you be if you never had to pay for gas or groceries ever again? Here's your chance. 2 winners each will receive free gas and groceries for a lifetime in the Gas and Groceries for Life raffle, presented by Thomas J. Henry. Free gas, free groceries, 2 winners. All net proceeds benefit elementary school children and local food banks. So get rolling, hit the gas, and purchase your raffle tickets at gasandgroceриesforlife.com today.
Pickle, let's go to the hotline. Let's go out east of Dallas to be joined by one of the most decorated coaches in Texas high school football out at Dallas Christian High School. We're joined by Coach Mike Wheeler. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing good.
How are things at Dallas Christian these days?
Well, it's springtime and busy with all the spring sports that we have going on.
Yeah, most certainly. You guys are active in a lot of different things. You guys, of course, are the reigning TAPS Division III state champions after last year's run to the title. You've been. I'm not trying to date you, but you've been around a little bit. You've had a remarkable run there at Dallas Christian. I'm interested from as far as last year's team is concerned, that state champion squad. How does that stack up against some of the other outstanding squads you guys have had there with the Chargers?
Well, there's a very good team, and I get asked that question a lot, and I hate to compare them to other teams because they're all different. You know, you have different personalities, you have different talent levels, but it would rank up there as one of the better teams we've had.
What was different about this team? You know, you've won in a lot of different ways. You've won with high flying offenses. You've won with outstanding defenses, which I certainly want to talk about in a moment. What really made this particular team special?
Well, I think when you won the state championship the year before, you know, it's always hard to repeat. And, you know, you have to really work on the kids, you know, saying and getting them to understand that, hey, just because you did this last year, it's not going to happen again. You still have to put in the work, and you have to do the same things that got you there the year before. So I think that was a constant reminder for our kids. But, you know, the great thing about them is they wanted to repeat, and they understood what it was going to take to get back and win a second state championship. And so I think the great thing about them was all the commitment that they made to winning back-to-back state championships, but also putting in all the work that it took to get there.
Talking with Mike Wheeler, the head coach of Dallas Christian here on Texas Football Today. Get involved in the conversation, hashtag TF Today. Coach, let's talk about something I know all coaches like to talk about, which is a game you lost. I want to go back to the game against Fort Worth Christian, because I know that's a big rival of y'all's. You guys come up short. That ends up being your only loss of the year. Did you feel like, now in hindsight, do you feel like that was a turning point for you guys? To go in there to take one on the chin against a really good Fort Worth Christian squad, but at that point you guys seemed to hit another gear. Did that feel like a turning point for you guys?
I think it was a turning point. You know, it's one of those things that was very similar to the year before. Mm-hmm. You know, we were rolling along, and then we went and played Trinity Christian Addison at their place, and we lost. But really what happens in those situations, what we've come to the conclusion is, you know, being a smaller school, we have to play a lot of bigger schools in non-district. So we'd come off, you know, playing Bishop Dunn, playing Bishop Lynch, Nolan, Fort Bend Christian, and, some really high-powered, really good football teams. And what happens to us is we have to two-platoon in a lot of situations. Mm-hmm. And so most of them are playing one way, and then they tempo us. And so we're hoping to get through this non-district schedule and hopefully get to a bye week so that we can really regroup and rest. But, we went into Fort Worth Christian game. They played one of the best games they'd played, during the year. And they were a good football team, take nothing away from them. And, we came out, we didn't play well defensively. We've always played well defensively. We made a lot of mistakes that we hadn't made up to that point in time. Offensively, we were in the red zone, I think, 4 or 5 times and came away with 3 points, and we just didn't execute. But I think the thing that we learned from that is, you've got to prepare to play every week. And, for us, we just didn't get ready to play that week. But at the same time, it made us think, hey, we've got to regroup. We've got to work harder. We've got to fix some of these things, and we've got to be focused every week to get through this next phase of the district and to get in the playoffs and then execute and get back to the championship.
You guys were certainly focused, obviously, in that run to back-to-back state championships. And now you look forward to 2023. You guys are bringing back a really talented core of athletes. It's hard not to focus on Speedy Nettles, Will Nettles, your star running back, or wide receiver, rather. We just did a segment that he's the third leading receiver in all of Texas high school football as far as returners are concerned in the state of Texas. He's a guy who passes the eyeball test, got a lot of Division I offers and things like that. But you're the guy who sees him every day in practice. What is it about Will Nettles, about Speedy Nettles, that makes him special?
Well, he's a special talent, and he's a great young man. He's a great student. You know, he's a quiet kid. You know, most people look at him going, I bet he's kind of a conceited type guy and got an ego. No, he doesn't. That's not him. He's a very quiet kid, very humble kid. He comes to work, he works hard, and he lets his play do the talking. And people look up to him, or other kids look up to him, and they follow his leadership by what he does on the field. But, you know, he made just great strides this last year as a junior. You know, as a sophomore, he played well defensively. He was kind of a spot player offensively. But, man, offensively, he was a difference maker. You know, he had over 1,900 yards of total offense and was just a kid that was just dominant on the offensive side of the ball.
Speaking of the defensive side, that really does, you know, when I think of Dallas Christian football, I think defense. You guys are routinely putting out one of the state's best defenses. You know, last year, of course, with the run of the state championship being no exception. When you take a look at the defense heading into 2023, you guys are going to bring back 5 starters from that state championship unit. Do you have a feel quite yet on where you guys are going? You feel like you're going to be defensively heading into 2023?
Well, we hope to be really good, and you're exactly right. I've always kind of been a defensive-minded guy. I have really good coaches that I trust and let them go to work, and we put this game plan together. And you know, our key thing is we want to be the most physical team on the football field on Friday night. And our kids understand that. They take it to heart, and they understand that, hey, defense wins championships. And this year was was why we won. You know, we played 2 back-to-back teams that were really good offensively and gave up no points. And so that was a credit to our defense.
And finally, Coach, Mike Wheeler of Dallas Christian joined us here on the show. And Coach, I want to ask you about milestones. You are you're tied for the 12th winningest coach in Texas high school football history with Eddie Peach. I mean, the names among the list of guys who have won 300 games that is a class that does not take long to call a roll, but you're one of them, joining that elite group last year in your state championship season. You know, here in the media, we like to make a big deal out of milestones. We pay attention to round numbers. Is that something that you is that something that you pay any attention to? You know, I feel like there's so many accolades and so many awards that have come your way. I'm interested in how you handle those type of milestones whenever they do come about.
You know, honestly, I mean, it is a milestone, but it's really something that's not that big a deal to me. You know, after we won our 300th game, you know, they did a big presentation, and you know, to me, it's kind of embarrassing because I don't like that attention. But you know, the thing about it is most people don't know my background, but I worked for a guy by the name of Tommy Watkins, who was at Lakeview Centennial. He finished up at Rowlett, but I was with him at Lakeview Centennial for 7 years, and he won 300 games, and a lot of my coaching philosophy comes from Coach Watkins. And you know, I always thought, man, if I could win 300 games and be like Coach Watkins, that'd be great. And so, to me, it's more of an honor to do that in memory of Coach Watkins, and just letting people understand that, hey, Coach Watkins had a philosophy and it worked, and I could take that same football philosophy and see if it works here at Dallas Christian, and so far it has.
I would
So
say
I give a lot of honor to Coach Watkins for teaching me a lot of his football knowledge over the years.
He's Mike Wheeler. He's the head coach of the Dallas Christian Chargers. Coach, we sure appreciate your time. Congratulations again on the state championship in 2022 and all your success, and we look forward to seeing your Chargers this year.
All right. Thank you.